Welcome back to True Crime Memoirs, the show where we explore true crime stories that shine a light on victims forgotten too soon. Today's episode tells the story of 19-year-old Canadian woman Ashley Wadsworth, her dreams, her journey to the UK, and the tragic events that ended her life. This episode deals with violence and loss. Listeners' discretion is advised. Ashley Wadsworth grew up in Vernon, British Columbia, in Canada, a bright, adventurous young woman with a passion for life and travel. Her family and friends described her as a kind, witty, and someone with an unforgettable laugh. She spoke multiple languages and had been accepted to Thompson Rivers University with plans to further her education. Ashley was also a devout member of the Mormon faith, a grounding part of her identity. Her family said she loved the world, and when she wasn't studying, she was exploring it. But there was one relationship that had shaped her young adult life. Ashley met 23-year-old Jack Seppel online, years before ever setting foot in the UK. They first connected while she was 12 and he was around 15. A connection that spanned years of long-distance communication. For Ashley, Jack represented companionship, support, and maybe even love. But online communication doesn't always translate to reality. In November of 2021, at age 19, Ashley decided to finally meet Jack in person. She travelled from Canada to Chelmsford, Essex, on a 6-month tourist visa. Excited, hopeful, and ready for a new chapter. Friends and family back home saw her photos, sightseeing London, exploring the UK. She seemed happy and in love. But not everything was as it appeared. Within weeks of moving in together, cracks began to show. Ashley's friends noticed a shift. Messages from her became less frequent. She confided in loved ones that things weren't going well and she wanted to return home earlier than planned. Neighbors heard shouting. On one occasion, a neighbor recalled Ashley describing a violent argument, telling them that Jack had hit her. She appeared upset and frightened. Ashley reached out to friends saying she wanted to help, even asking them to come get her from the flat they shared on Tennyson Road. Those messages spread alarm within her circle. But on that morning, on the 1st of February 2022, the situation would take a turn no one could have predicted. It was just before 4 p.m. that day when concerned friends called emergency services, worried after hearing nothing from Ashley. Essex police forced entry into the flat. What they found was devastating. Ashley had been stabbed multiple times, over 90 wounds inflicted during a brutal attack that also included strangulation. The provisional cause of death was listed as stab wounds to the chest, injuries so severe they affected her heart, lungs, and other vital organs. Her boyfriend Jack was found at the scene. Disturbingly, he was on a FaceTime call showing Ashley's body to a relative. When questioned, Jack admitted to the killing. "I went psychotic," he told officers, saying he had strangled and stabbed her. Paramedics desperately tried to save her, but at 4:38 p.m., the life of Ashley Wadsworth came to an end. Far from home, far from the future she had envisioned. In court, Jack pleaded guilty to murder and was sentenced to life in prison with a minimum term of 23 years and 6 months before parole can even be considered. The judge described the attack as brutal and cowardly. Ashley's mum, Christy, delivered an emotional victim impact statement. Ashley's passion and love ultimately cost her her life. "I wish she had just come home." Her father said he never wanted her to go to England, a decision he worried about ever since she booked her flight. Her family remembered her not for the violence of her final moments, but for who she was, curious, loving, and with a boundless appetite for life. She was a daughter, a sister, and a friend who was taken far too soon. Ashley's story is heartbreaking and all too common. It touches on the dangers of isolation, the complexities of abusive relationship, and the risks that can arise when someone is far from their support network. Many online romances never become tragedies, but Ashley's case reminds us that vigilance, support, and early intervention can be life-saving. As we close today's episode, let us remember Ashley not as a cautionary tale, but as a young woman full of promise, whose love for life and adventure left an impact on all who knew her. If you or someone you know is in an abusive relationship or needs help, please reach out to local support services. You deserve to be safe. Thank you so much for listening to today's story. And join me next time as we explore more stories with heart, humanity, and truth. And until next time, stay safe.